to Science with Steph, the show where I think way too much about the world around us and then fall into a deep state of misery. We're all gonna die alone! In my last video, I had a look at some of the problems caused by global warming. This week, I'm going to be digging into the numbers a little bit and looking at how you can help. Spoiler alert, things could actually look quite hopeful. This chart shows global emissions of greenhouse gases broken down by sector. And as you can see, nearly half of all emissions globally are due to producing heat and electricity and due to agriculture. This is followed by industry, which is mostly large-scale manufacturing, and transport, which is mostly cars, planes and freight. Now looking at the Western world though, the numbers paint quite a different picture, where nearly 2/3 of our emissions are due to producing heat, electricity and due to transport. These numbers clearly show that in Europe and North America, the biggest impact on global emissions we're having is due to our lifestyle choices, and we need societal change to reduce that impact. So the biggest changes you and myself can make are to think of the 3 R's: reduce, reuse and recycle. These 3 R's are an easy way to think about everything that we do on a daily basis. Firstly, reduce. Reducing our consumption is going to have the biggest impact of all the R's. Now, we already know to turn off lights and TVs to reduce on electricity when we're not using them. But did you know that some plugs, when they're on standby, can actually still be drawing electricity? Did you know that the easiest way to find out if your plug is drawing electricity from the socket is just to feel if it's warm? Energy can't be created or destroyed, so if it's warm, it's drawing electricity. But by far though, the biggest consumer of energy in our homes is the heating and cooling of water. Water has a huge heat capacity, which means it takes a lot of energy to warm water up by not very much. In the UK, we heat a lot of water in our homes. That's to keep our houses warm in the winter and to boil all that water for the cups of tea that we drink. The stereotypes are true. We drink tea all the time. So turn that thermostat down by 1 or 2 degrees, put on a jumper and only boil the water you need whenever you're drinking tea. So what else can we reduce? Well, there's transport. It's turning into summer now. Are there journeys that you can make by walking or cycling? Did you know that in terms of energy per mile, cycling is by far the most efficient way of getting around? Mile for mile, it takes 5 times more energy to walk, and actually driving alone in a car takes over 10 times the amount of energy as cycling. And then another thing we can reduce on is our meat. Calorie for calorie, beef takes 1,000 times the amount of water, 100 times the amount of land use, and over 10 times the amount of carbon emissions as potatoes do. Not to mention all that methane that's a much more potent greenhouse gas than carbon. That's right, I'm talking about cow farts. Nobody likes cow farts. So we've talked about reduce. What about number 2? Reuse. So apart from all those plastic bags that are filling up our cupboards, reusing isn't just about reusing things in the home. So what about tapping into the second-hand market? Save yourself a penny as well as the planet. Our throwaway culture in terms of clothing, electronics, even furniture is having a huge impact on emissions globally. So the next time you're in the market for a new outfit, pop into a local charity shop and then tweet me a picture of your best bargains. Oh yeah, follow me on Twitter. Shameless plug. Thirdly, recycle. Recycling is that last stop for things you absolutely can't use again. I'm going to make a whole video about recycling in the future, but for now I'm going to say that it's vital for reducing carbon and for promoting a circular economy. We can all make a difference, especially if we make a small choice for something simple today and stick with it in the long term. But Steph, what difference can one person make when the system is broken and governments won't make the right decisions for the environment? Well, good question, cynical me. I like you. You can stick around. You're right, individual actions don't have that great an impact. It's collectively that we make the biggest difference. So let's look at the maths. Let's say that half of all people in Britain, which isn't that big a number, cut out all beef from the diet and replace that with local seasonal veg. This would save 14 million tonnes of CO2 every year, the equivalent of having 8 million cars on our roads. I'll leave a Google Doc with my maths down below. And you're right, cynical Steph, even our collective impact isn't big enough for the global shifts required. It can start with us small people though. I encourage you to join a local grassroots group, vote, write to your MP. Our generation are the ones who decide what kind of future we want. So my question to you folks out there is, what one change are you going to make to reduce your impact? Mine is I'm going to plan my meals better to reduce my food waste. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Science with Steph. If you have any comments, suggestions or sciencey questions, leave them in the comment section down below. If you like this video and would like to watch some more, my last episode on whether global warming could be a good thing is here. I bring out new videos every Friday, so if you consider subscribing, please click here. Okay, thanks for watching. Until next time, bye!